indoor substitute for rugby union. It's the real thing when England kick off against Scotland at Twickenham in the Calcutta Cup.
An intense rivalry shared between two united nations that are often yet divided. From Robert the Bruce, Hadrian's Wall, Haggis versus fish and chips, the Calcutta Cup is the separation between England versus Scotland, and this weekend we celebrate both in the Six Nations. This battle, as old as time, fought on fields of conflict from Bannockburn to Twickenham, now extends to the kitchen where we'll be pitching these two old foes against one another in a culinary form. And flying the Red Cross for St George, we have fish and chips, a staple of British cuisine in general, but most notably being listed as one of the most national dishes. With beer-battered haddock, twice fried chip shop chips, and somewhat mushy peas and tartar sauce, this dish is truly one of the best things England have ever made in terms of cuisine. It all starts with a bowl of self-raising flour, baking powder, turmeric and Cornish Proper Job IPA to make our batter that will leave our haddock knockout delicious. We start by making the batter to allow the baking powder to get to work, creating an airy, bubbly batter for the perfect light and crispy coating. So delicious that Ben Curry will be changing his name to Ben Chippy. We stir well until thick and let it rise. Now get your taters and chop them up into nice, thick, long battens, otherwise known as chips. Rinse off the starch and soak for as long as you have. Blanch in any high smoking point at 145 degrees for 5 minutes until soft on the inside. Listen to that sizzle. Now for another English classic and my personal favourite, mushy peas. Definitely could be named better. Anyway, cook your peas, whack in some lemon juice and some mint if you have some on hand, and mash until you mush your peas. And we go right back to the chips. Increase the temperature of your oil to 180 degrees and scorch your potato oblongs until they're golden and crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside. Now, time to take your haddock swimming in hot boiling oil. Enrobe completely in boozy batter and carefully place it in the sea of scorching fatty death. Let your haddock paddle for 5 minutes, give or take depending on the size, and make sure to give it a flip halfway through. And once your fish is out, accompany it with a lemon. It's a dish of hope and glory in my opinion. Crunchy, salty, savoury and delicious. A strong contender for its noisy neighbours. Outside of the kitchen, this game of rugby has hotly been fought over 150 years. First formally played on Christmas Day in 1872 in Calcutta, India, part of the British Empire at the time, between a group of Scots and Englishmen. With a growth of popularity in the sport and fixture, eventually the expats pulled their money together to create the Calcutta Cup and presented it to the RFU. The cup is crowned by an elephant stood proudly on top of it, and a nod to the trophy's Indian and colonial past. On the 10th of March 1879, 143 years ago, the fixture was brought back home to the British Isles, where a 1-1 draw was played out at Rayburn Place, Edinburgh. England were gone to win the second instalment at the home soil in Manchester, and ever since, the rest has been big tries, big hits, and even bigger drama. Twice suspended for world wars and spectator off-field political divisions, this fixture has seen great tension being built over the years. 2023 will be no exception. Meanwhile, north of the border, we have a true icon of Scottish cooking, and its sole national dish, haggis. The rugby ball all encased in an animal's stomach. It all starts with organs in a stomach bag wrapped in tinfoil, placed into a medium-sized saucepan covered in hot water. Bring to the boil and reduce the heat to simmer, and let the lungy, oaty goodness cook to perfection for 45 minutes. Chop nature's bowling ball into small cubes and boil alongside the potatoes. Now your root veggies are cooked. Toss in a knob of lard or butter if you're not a cheapskate student, and mash until it resembles SpongeBob in a blender. After this, you'll want to come in with a bit of seasoning. We're British, so a bit of salt and pepper won't go amiss. And now it's perfectly cooked, remove and drain your metal meat sausage and cut it open to reveal a marvellous creation. Time to dish out with a healthy serving of neats and tatties and a garnish of parsley. Now for the nitty gritty, and awarding our Calcutta Cup kitchen winner. Both dishes were fantastic, however, today we're going to have to give it to the haggis because honestly it was a pleasant surprise and we've never really had it before. Pairing well with the tatties and neeps, it was beautiful and honestly, it was only missing a whiskey grave at the top. It has to take pride in both dishes being absolutely world class, but that said, we have to leave the two countries to play it out on the field rather than the kitchens. But also leave down in the comments below who do you think is going to win and which one you thought was better. Subscribe to the Liquid Podcast on all platforms. Thank you very much.